Okay, thanks, Tucker. Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. Chris, would you do the roll?
Yes, Adriana Carlson.
Here.
Todd Lavieri.
Here.
Michael Chen.
Here.
Chris Labrie is here. Victor Alvarez. Maria Weingarten.
Here.
Robert Hamill.
Here.
James Yao.
Here.
Nicholas Matrakis.
Here.
James Schaefer.
Here.
Steve Doka.
Here.
Alan Bedaines.
Here.
Everybody is here.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Before we approve the minutes, if anyone we did open up this as a second opportunity for a public hearing, public speaking. Couple of housekeeping things. One, there's a sign up list right over there. And so if you want to sign up and speak, please do that name and we'll call you in that order. Second thing, obviously limited to 3 minutes. Chris will be the timekeeper and we'll at 30 seconds before the 3 minutes give you a little bit of a warning. We have time boxed that to 30 minutes tonight, just so that we can do the budget. Don't know how many we'll have. We'll see. We had 12 on Tuesday. And then I think that's it for the public part of it. So I do need a motion first on the minutes of February 24th to approve those minutes.
I move to approve.
Victor, second? You had to be here, just to remember. No one wants to second it? Oh, James, okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, so moved. And what do you want to say on the 26th? You have an amendment?
Yeah, the minutes of February 26 as circulated on your tablets is incorrect. In the paragraph on the Board of Education follow-up, the fifth line down, the sentence should read, staffing levels, comma, but was not clearly reported, period. Mr. Lavieri noted, et cetera, et cetera. So the word not was not included.
Victor, we count on you. Okay.
That was a typo.
With that, it was so recent. With that as an amended set of minutes, could I have a motion to approve the amended February 26 minutes? Motion? Nick, second? Victor, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, let me give an update as to where we are. There were a few really good questions on Tuesday. I did want to just comment on them and make sure we had some information out there. And then we will go to any public comments. So in terms of where we are, let me start with where we are. As you all remember, the superintendent had identified $800,000 of savings as of Tuesday, 3 categories of areas in terms of some of the reduction in the out-of-district placements, turnover savings, which is one of those calculations that really gets made real time. It's constantly, I shouldn't say constantly evolving, but regularly evolving over the course of several months. So when the superintendent puts a budget together in kind of November, December, and gets it to the selectmen, that feels like ancient history, I think, in his world, right? 2 months later. And then the last area was a pickup in picking up the healthcare for food service. So that all of those 3 things added savings of $800,000. Now, speaking of better data, so as we get into the claims as they come in, there's an improvement in the claims and a reduction of another $300,000. Again, better data today or this week or this last couple of weeks than was able to be forecasted back in December. So that's 800 plus 300. And then this is important. So there's a fund that's a cushion. It's called the Internal Services Fund. It's to make sure that there's enough money available for healthcare, and there's a whole formula for how it gets created, and there's a certain amount that the town has and the Board of Ed has, and so forth. That fund has a projected surplus above the required amount, or the amount we agree on as a town, of just about 2.1 million. Call it $2 million is projected to be overfunded. And so today, the thinking is, now that we have the January and February actuals, the healthcare expenses are coming in favorably, that we can reduce that surplus by about $500,000, which is another saving. So now that takes it all those three things, 800, 300, 500, $1.6 million of an ability to reduce the operating expenses. I will add that there is still a surplus. Now, what we don't know is what will happen for the March claims. I'm sorry, we don't have February claims. You had January claims. Just got February claims. So we don't have the March claims. And again, trending right or well, the healthcare expenses are trending in the right direction. And so what the superintendent has said, look, let's take a look at it as we go through this budget into the town council's view. And by the time the town council needs to vote, you'll have March actuals. And if they're continuing to trend the way that's expected, there's an opportunity to possibly even take a little bit more of that surplus. Is that fair?
Historical March highest.
Right. In the last year's March was the highest. That's right.
Average month.
That's going to bring some additional savings. So we're not saying there'll be more above the 1.6 that we've got today, but that's a possibility for the town council and the Board of Ed and superintendent to look at in late March, April, early April. So that's where we are on that. So that's 1.6 without any other expenses that were being discussed by others, not by us, but people were talking about teachers and things and so forth. So obviously none of that's on the table, never was, frankly. That's that. On the library, someone asked a question on the legacy building and why would we not do a lot of due diligence and why would we put money into the budget? Here's why. We can't go get grant funding if the town hasn't demonstrated a commitment to the project. So by putting $1 million in the capital plan, it is a commitment to do something, but that something depends on how well we're able to raise money, get grant funding, and see a plan. There's no, right? The plan's not quite detailed yet, but this allows Ellen and the library to get the ball rolling. That's all that is. It hasn't been approved by this board to be bonded. It hasn't gone to the town council for approvals. So it's in really, really early stages. And I just want everybody to know that it's not a commitment to spend something for something that's undesigned. And, so the people didn't have all the facts on that. Obviously, we get that. We need to see the detailed plans. We need to see what the rest of the other funding is, but the clock can't start ticking until we get this in place. Someone asked a very good question. Why would there be an increase in the amount owed by taxpayers than what is greater than the percentage increase in expenses? Good question. Answer, revenues are down. There's the other side of the equation. The revenues are down about $2 million year over year. So we have to make that up somewhere. And that's the answer to that question. Last question that I had to address from the other night was SACs. It's a great question. And actually, it was so good, I actually wrote an answer. Here's the answer. This is on the communication system, and it was a request for $1.2 million in capital. The Board of Selectmen reduced this capital expense in the budget that was sent to us because, good reason, of the possible impact to SACs as the administration and the town considers accommodating student enrollment increases. The point being, we don't want to spend the money twice, once now, and then again, if we have major SACs construction and reconfiguration in the near future to meet growing headcount. So all we're trying to do is make sure we understand what that uncertain remember how this budget process started, by the way. I mean, new schools and everything's different and so forth. So our thinking was, let's just get more certainty on where we think we'll be this calendar year. And, not to say that it's not important, but we can't ask the taxpayers for the same money twice, knowing we're likely, could likely do some construction, reconstruction, reconfiguration of SACs. That was the reason why we.
I always hate this angle. That
does count as Republican.
So yeah, what are they saying about?
Okay. That was the update. I was not going to reread the opening comments. Tucker, how many people are online?
20, but I would say 10 because a bunch of them are us who are on.
Okay. I'm not going to reread my public comments that I gave on Tuesday unless I really feel like I need to. But there's a lot of misinformation, I would say, that was floating around that I did try to address. Oh, I will address one thing. This is unprecedented. Not unprecedented. We went back and looked and added this up 3 different ways, 3 different times to make sure we had it right. From 2021 to 2025, 5 budgets. We don't have the 26 actuals yet. Obviously, this budget doesn't end until June. Between the amount that we requested of reductions and the amount that the administration gave back over that 5-year period is $8.8 million. So this conversation happens every year. In 21, 22, it wasn't quite as much, 23, 24, a little bit more. That average is 1.76. I just said we just added up to 1.6. So my point being, this isn't unprecedented, this conversation. So, okay, with that, I don't know who's first up on the list, but we will start any public comments that need to be made, and we'll go through them. And Rich.
10 years since I made any public.
We're on your microphone there.
Yeah, make sure it's green.
Okay. I have documents I'd like to submit as public records.
Okay.
This will be a little tad over 3 minutes, so about 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Okay.
Maybe. In 2014, we had 4,229 students. We had 712 employees. This year, we will ask for 803 employees, with last year's enrollment at 3,953. 276 less students, 91 more employees. The valid argument was always more students, more employees. We don't know who all these 91 people are or what they do. The school administrators will not share names, salaries, or job titles, which is public record and did so 11 years ago. But here's a fact. Back in 2014, we had a superintendent who made $248,000 a year. Today, we have a superintendent that makes $388,000 a year, not counting perks and benefits, but now has what he calls his cabinet, an assistant superintendent and a deputy superintendent, who each make $275,000 a year, never voted on by the Board of Ed. That's $938,000 a year for 3 people. The last 5 Board of Education chairs like the title, but seem to think they work for the superintendent, but we all know he works for them. The Board of Ed budget has gone from $91 million to a now ask of $118 million in 5 years. That's a 30% increase in 5 years, an average of 6.6% per year. At that rate, the budget will be $236 million in 12 years. Budget drivers, salaries, 64%. But you must realize that only employed people get paid and get raises. Contracts don't cover non-employees. 2, employee benefits, 18%. A plan that has not been bid out in 11 years. A plan whose administrator, Cigna, was being sued for embezzlement in 2018. This did not trigger a bid or an audit of the claims for the discounts by the Board of Ed. Neither did a check for $2 million being mislabeled as claims that was for administration from the claims clear check filed back in 2017 and 18. Everyone was made aware that we have paid over $31 million more than Darien for healthcare for the last 11 years, but still the Board of Ed did not request a bid. This is your current Board of Ed, who enables the superintendent to do whatever he wants, from creating 91 new staff for 76 less students, from not bidding on healthcare for 11 years, red flags everywhere, from floating ideas of a North School because we don't have space, while knowingly suppressing the facts that there are 28 empty classrooms in K4 and SACs at 80% capacity, not going over 85% in the next 5 years, which was given at a presentation to the committee, but not the full board of the parents. The same superintendent who had a SACs committee meeting back in 2015, which he ran total 3 other people to remove any mention of asbestos from the report. In closing, take back control. The Board of Ed is incapable or is beyond the ability to do so. Have not cut $1 ever of $1 billion of superintendent budgets requests. No Board of Ed in Connecticut does that. Thank you.
You want to give that to Tucker?
Oh, okay, I can do that.
Go ahead.
I'll go ahead.
Just introduce yourself and make sure, yeah. So
Okay,
people
yeah.
online. can-
So, hi, I'm back again. My name is Edel Flynn. I'm a resident here in New Canaan. I have two children at East School currently. They're in second grade and third grade. And I've had three stepchildren who went through South, one in Saks at the moment and one in the high school. And I'm just here today to speak on behalf of the Board of Education and all of the parents in New Canaan who are very concerned over the cut in the increase in our budget this year. The gentleman before me mentioned the breakdown. I won't go over that again. But I personally, as a parent, I see where the money is going. I should say as well, I'm a chartered accountant, chartered tax advisor, and a New York State attorney. I've been an international tax advisor for 25 years, worked with the Big Four for 25 years. And I reviewed the budgets, each of them, across all of the different departments that were submitted to the Board of Finance. And one thing stuck out to me that is more of a question, I guess, that maybe you could come back and review at another point, but we are spending an incredible amount of money this year on Waveney House. I'm not sure whether or not it was approved, but for example, in the Parks and Recreation, there's $118,760 just for operating costs. There's also an audio system installed for $45,000. In the Public Works budget, there's a HVAC replacement for $4 million. I'm no architect or construction expert, but I think that you could build a new Waveney House for $4 million. There's exterior doors for $360,000, and then there's exterior improvements for $1.3 million. This altogether is $5.8 million in 1 year on Waveney House. And I'm just wondering, or if I could make a suggestion or a question, if you're looking for savings or opportunities, if it's a question of availability of funds limitation, and that's why the increase in the budget for the schools is being limited, then I suggest that we look to Waveney House and look at the investment that we're saying that we'll make in 2026, 2027, because I think it's unrealistic for all of that work to be done in 12-month period. We look at the time that we spent doing the library or any other construction in the town, it takes much longer. And perhaps we could pay that if it actually is the actual cost over a phased period at a milestone period.
30 seconds.
Okay, well, and that I also wanted to point out one piece of information about Waveney House. It currently has revenue of $200,000 from weddings each year. I know that you have to pay $5,000 to rent Waveney House, so that's about 40 weddings a year. Maximum that could go up to about 80, and they have annual running costs of 130. That's only $70,000 that they make in weddings a year. So you're looking at income of $70,000, and we're investing $5.8 million in 2026, 2027. I think it deserves a more detailed review. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, but I will answer your question. I think it's a good question. We cut the $4 million 3 weeks ago
Okay.
for the capital. And tell me how much. I think it's like $600,000 for Waveney for some maintenance things, abatement. I don't have all the facts, but it's a few $100,000. Just so you know, that $4 million was cut when we did their review. I want to say the 12th of February, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was
That
capital.
was
So
a
just so you know.
wise decision. I mean, I hope it comes back at some stage, but I think there's other ways to help.
It'll only come back when it fails, I think, because probably where our head is. The selectman doesn't like that answer, but it's, we'll keep it going, but it's not a priority.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you.
and at
Appreciate
the
it.
outset of this meeting, you did say there's some other savings too. So hopefully they could be applied to the budget for the school and crafts. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for your time.
Thank you.
Is there anybody online who would like to speak? If you do, please raise your virtual hand. Last call for anybody online. Seeing none, is there anybody else in the room?
Okay, thank you all. Appreciate it. Let's move on to the review. I think, Ryan, you probably and Ann need to come up here. And let's go through where we are. Just remind everybody of the process here. We'll just get updates on operating capital. They've been doing all the work that we, over the course of the last few weeks, where we've been making changes or cuts or whatever it might be. And obviously they have an updated view with some real-time changes. And then we'll take a vote. You have how we do vote
Yeah,
by department?
No, I'm good.
I spared everybody 10 minutes of me rereading. I like it. Good evening. I don't know which one's which here. That's how you're gonna vote, right?
Got
You got a separate piece. It probably lines up with this. Yeah, perfect. Okay.
I'm gonna read it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Where you want us to start?
So I have packet in front of you.
Mhm.
Ann and I are going to be looking at these two pages toward the end, maybe the last 6 or 8 pages. FY27 operating changes and reconciliation and capital program changes and reconciliation. So for where we started with the Board of Selectmen recommended budget. General fund revenue, 181,928,403. And general fund expenses, 186,928,403 with anticipated fund balance drawdown of 5 million. So that's where we started. Changes in revenue, the tax collections, the current tax collections change based on everything else we do. So that's kind of a bottom line number, but that changed downward by 2.1 million, about 2.2 million at this point. We increased operating transfers in up to 790,000. That's not including the additional 800 that you just said 15 minutes ago.
But you're gonna do that on, okay.
Piece of paper.
Fine.
So overall decrease in revenue of 1.4 million. Expense changes, excuse me, expense changes. Overall expense changes are, again, that 1.4 million reduction. Major drivers there, Board of Education, we have a 200,000, which is now actually 300,000 reduction, and a 600,000, which is actually 500. That was an update right before this meeting. The overall numbers don't change right now. We did increase debt service a little bit by 357,000. And we reduced the transfers to tax supported capital by 960,000. And you can see that detail on the backside of that page. I'll get to it in a moment. But the net result is we did reduce revenue and expenses by 1.4 million based on those changes.
Service increase up in the operating transfers in. That increased primarily because of the premium we expect to go out to get. So that there's an offset between those two line items with the net of about $450,000 in premium. We're only going out for 10 million this year.
Yeah, just make sure you've got the right figures after all that we just went through on this change column, right? You said.
That's right, the 6 and the 8.
The new
The new
changes you
numbers that
just
we
talked
just did,
about.
yeah.
We'll update them right after.
Let's update them before we vote the budget.
Yes, for sure.
Yes, this was just we're going through where the changes are right now, and then we need a moment to do all the changes we
No,
just
all
talked
right,
about right now. Yeah.
So in terms of capital, if you want to talk capital. $23,753,484 in capital projects. And a half million of that was expected to be bonded. About 1.6 million was tax supported, and about 2.6 million was other grant funded. Things like that. Fund balance, things like that. It comes from there. So the changes, there are many. Some of the notable ones, we did reduce Waveney House HVAC. That 4 million is out. Waveney House exterior, 1.3 million is out. We did add back $1 million for the library building preservation. There's a $500,000 increase, changing the fire tanker into a pumper. Switch the years on that based on the fire department's needs. A couple other small reductions here and there, but overall, we reduced bonded capital by 3.57 million. We reduced tax supported capital by 730,000. We increased the other column by 312,000. That's using the tax supported capital fund balance from prior years.
In total, we reduced tax supported capital from by $960,000.
Yep, sorry. Yeah, and including, I was trying to find that number, but it's actually $1,010,000 if you
Definitely.
include the sewer capital,
Sure, yeah.
50,000. Yeah, perfect. So total at the bottom line now, we have, instead of 23.7 million of total capital expenses this year, 19,765,484 is where we landed. 16.2 of that is bonded. 582,000, including sewer capital, is tax supported, and that 2.94 million is grant funded or fund balance supported. Again, we'll update these numbers. So it takes a few minutes for me to do that. I have the fund balance estimates. If anybody wants to talk that, that's we can do that next. Actually, you're probably better suited to speak to this.
Would you prefer us to update everything right now? Give us a moment to update everything, and we'll just
So
spit this.
I would just pull it all up. Let's get the right figures in there. So otherwise we're doing this twice.
Understood?
Ryan, I'll need about 5 or
I
10.
mean, it's good to get us oriented as to where we are, but let's get the right numbers in there. Oh, we took a lot of capital out. Man, for a lot.
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Yeah.
We've added the $1 million for the old building preservation, but you said earlier, it's not really, I mean, is it earmarked but not fully approved until we've done the due diligence and?
Well, like everything, we can't, for most things, until we see the final estimates, competitive bids, what's the design, don't even know what the amount is. The million may be meaningless if it's a $7 million project, because, you know, that we're not going to do, you know, a lot more than that. But the thinking was it was around 2. So earmark is, I guess it's an earmark is a good way to look at it. It's on our capital plan.
Yeah.
If we get a plan that it works and that the grants can come in and offset the other half or more of the cost, then it's interesting, right? But they can't use, as I said, they can't get started on the grant funding without us showing a little bit of a commitment. That was, we agreed to when we met with them.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, thanks.
I have a question. If we are, so our debt service is going up based on, compared to the Board of Selectmen budget by 357,000. And we're bringing down the bonded amount from 19.5 million to 16.2 million. Remind me why the debt service is going up?
You have to, Ann has to walk you through that.
So we bond in arrears. So currently, including the sewer estimate of the 4 million for the UV, we have $42 million still to be bonded. So we have the capacity to do, what we do is we look at what the drop off the debt coming off. So our policy is to keep our 10% of our operating budget is what our debt service can be, can't be any higher. So we looked at what the capacity we have with the policy and what's coming off to say we can bond up to $10 million this year. We don't do straight line. At some point, it was a policy decision to do it based on useful life and not just straight line on a lot of the projects and things that we purchase. So if we've purchased a couple of vehicles lately, some of them are only 10 years. So it's going to be upfront on that principle. So I was trying to keep it within the budget we were at for 26, but we couldn't do it because of some of the items were paid off sooner than just spreading it over 10 or 20 years. So that's why it increased to the 357.
Yeah.
It's an estimation right now, but that's a pretty good estimation.
So it has nothing to do with the fact that we're decreasing our.
Absolutely nothing. This is stuff
capital.
that we've already approved in prior years, and we wait till the project's done and we bond what we actually need for the project, not. So if we set a project at $1 million, it comes in at 900, I'm bonding the 900, not the $1 million upfront.
Thanks.
And then Ryan, when you're ready, can you throw it up on the screens too? Well, as you read them, you should make sure you.
No, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go over there. Make sure you're
When
right.
he's done?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think he's coming back here.
Yeah, but just give me a few minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it should all change.
And how much did you bring down the tax supported capital again, did you say? Yeah. That's an opportunity, by the way.
What is?
Well, we'll see where we end up. We could always bond some of it. $1 million though. And it's all 10s and 20s. It's nothing. Yeah. I think they did a good job grouping those items. You may notice some team on the capital, they did a very good job grouping items as we talked about to bond them and not have to tax for them, which was
We used to have to go through all, find them all over the place.
yeah. No, that was good. You should have given them 3 minutes.
Or get those numbers right.
That's true.
It'll take as long as they need.
Well, we normally would have done this on Tuesday.
You might have
Yeah,
to
this we
have
should have done this on
benefit,
Tuesday.
It won't be for tonight, it'll be for town council, but so I had a call with Russ on with Norcom about, how we have to have our systems upgrades and all this kind of stuff. You can maybe, she said we could probably stretch our system a little bit longer and just, he's a little nervous because he's like, "What if something breaks, we have contingency of
Mhm.
breaking. So we might not do the full service contract and we'll just have like, instead of 180, it'll be more like 80.
Okay,
So,
okay.
I mean, he's
When
getting
will we
it all
have that?
together for, no, not for tonight, because it's not ready. for
Yeah.
tonight. He
No, when I
needs-
said, will he'll
Oh,
get it
if-
done in March?
For the
Okay.
town council.
All right,
I said, but he needs to flush that out publicly so people understand.
Right.
So,
okay, good.
what's going on.
Okay. Mm,
Money given back.
I think these tech firms wanna, it was a good analogy of like getting new tires before the tread's full worn.
mhm.
So,
And it increased substantially.
so there's another 100. I don't-
Yeah,
That might
no.
have been in capital, so I can't remember. who
Well,
did
was it bondable? I'm not sure it
Yeah,
was.
Well, it's a service contract, so it was a service contract, so I don't know, depends on what year, hold on.
It's not on this list because we didn't change it.
Yeah, we haven't changed it.
I think it
'Cause
changed.
we literally had the call today. They're not very responsive, for sure.
He's done?
Yes.
Is he looking for something or? Yeah, we miss Josh. Should I say it loud? Should I say that out loud?
Really don't. We don't.
I know we know, I'm just kidding.
We upgraded, but we let Darian feel like they did.
They won. Exactly.
John likes to bring that up every time I see him. Yeah, we just take.
There was a question on Darien Healthcare, and we did do some research on it, and I don't, for some reason, I don't have it, but Ryan has it. Very interesting. Our Board of Ed healthcare, I believe, over the period of time was below Darien's healthcare costs. The town is higher. The town was higher over the last decade. And Rich is right about that. However, in the last 4 years, ours is up 6% in total. Don't quote me on the numbers, but I think it's 6.2 million, was 6.2 million, and now it's 6.6 million or something like that. Excuse me? Town. And Darien's is up 51%.
Their town.
Yeah, in that same period of time. So they've gone from something like 3 and change to almost 5. So
They're
it's,
fully insured,
yeah.
too. They're not self-insured.
But they are looking to go.
But I mean,
theirs is really, really climbing.
Yeah.
apples to oranges.
They've been, totally,
Yes.
and they've been definitely lower on the town side than New Canaan has, it's true. But the Board of Ed was lower on the Board of Ed side. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they have a volunteer, let's be fair, they have a volunteer firefighting.
Don't underestimate that. We
I was gonna
never,
say,
I've asked
people
every
need to
year.
remember, we
Quantify
actually
that.
have a
Yeah.
fully,
Yeah.
we have a volunteer, but we have a paid fire department
With health benefits.
with health benefits.
Yeah.
Volunteer, Darien has a fully volunteer.
I forgot how much that
Fire.
is, but at one point we knew it. I didn't make up the whole difference, but it made a difference.
More houses burned down in Darien?
Victor. Just asking a question? Can't ask that question. I'm gonna grab a water. You want a water?
Yes, please. Okay, where it is, let's see. Yeah, here it is. Here it is.
The hidden closet.
It's bond. Oh, so it's only gonna go down 100. It'll be bond. Yeah. Goes down. Trying. So when he says we're higher, I'm like. better. What happened? So it's right here. Tom.
Anybody want a water?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Jan?
This is where.
Jan?
Just FYI, it's bonded, so it's not gonna.
Okay.
But it's here it is. It's right here.
All right, back to work.
So that'll go down by 100. Probably.
Thank you. We'll look at the answer.
Yeah. I'm 2.5.
Is this the right sheet?
4.2. All right, not down that much. 3.4. Not to be raised by taxation from. That's my number that counts, not to be raised by taxation.
School should have
The vote sheet didn't change.
Let's get it right. Let's get it right. So Ryan, let's go through and just every major bucket here and make sure we're all in agreement on these numbers. All right. Yeah, it's interesting. 3.9. Oh,
3.4.
okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I told Bob it was 0.5%.
That's right, because you took 8 and now you're another 8, so you got 0.5%. There you go.
Ready when you are.
Let's go through it. Make sure we've got the changes right.
Sure. The major sections. So the first major section is town operating expenses. 43,524,887.
Hey, Ryan, just bring the mic a little closer.
That doesn't change, right?
That did not change. Board of Ed operating has 2 lines.
Just don't go too fast. We got to double check it against the sheet that we're going to vote on. So,
Okay.
All right. Are you good with 43?
43, I'm good.
All right. Keep going.
Board of Ed expense summary, the major line, 99,232,391.
Oh, where's that?
It's up, they're looking at the second line. You got to add the 2. That he has insurance. You got to add insurance into that.
Combining that as the same,
Yeah,
okay.
Combining it in the same for his chart.
117,183,765 is the combined total.
Now, if we took out, show me
No,
where,
that can't be right. I've got,
It
the
doesn't.
total should be 115,883.
2 million.
no, but he already took 800 out when we
Yeah,
got here. So
yeah.
this number,
It's just another 8.
No, he hadn't taken
Took
it.
600 out.
Yeah, no, he took
Yeah,
8
no,
out
no,
of
no.
this number.
Right. The
Yes,
1.8
page 1,
was
I'm
already out.
telling you, Chris, page 1, what you had today had 800 out of it.
yes.
That is
Yes.
right.
So then you took it down by how much more?
So another 8.
Another 8?
3.
3,
because,
another 3.
The other 5 came from operating transfer in revenue.
Right.
Where you-
That's what we'll pick up that 5. You haven't sold them yet.
Oh, 9.
So here, you're saying that you have a reduction of 600 in Board of Ed summary expense. You're saying that includes the 800? That number should have been.
Well,
not
600 is,
600 less, it
6
should
is
be
2. It's 6 and 2. It's 6 and 2, but that was taken out before today. 600 out of the operating and 200 out of the ISF.
Okay,
Ends up being the change thing, 300, it ended up
It was,
but,
and
yeah,
then it turned into 5 and 3, which is
5 and
not in the
3.
packet that you had prior.
It's 5 and 3 now, 3 out of the ISF.
Now it's 5 and 6.
5 out of.
So do we have to edit that? Because that's not what it was.
The lunch fund ended up going from 2, it's 3 now, right?
The number's correct.
Yeah,
Yep,
okay,
because
yeah.
the other 500 that we discussed is going to be a one-time transfer from the ISF into the general fund. So that's not going to show up here. That's going to be in the ISF balance.
Okay.
So this is 1.1. It's the 800 that we've discussed, an additional 300 that we discussed tonight. That's the 1.1. And then there's going to be a 500,000 transfer from the balance. That'll be the one time, right, from the ISF
Yep.
into the general
Into
fund.
the general fund.
right, so where's that gonna show up here on this sheet?
Transfer won't. probably.
Right.
You do it again.
It's his
The
end.
500 is it, oh, yeah, so we'll start on the operating. The operating, the group insurance went down by 300,000. That was the lunch fund.
-3 on this.
That's what was that, we took the original 800 out before you got, when you got the report
And you
today.
just removed another three
We just removed it.
from that line. That's why 117,483 goes to 117,183. Got that?
And the top, the 99,
Hey, Ann, can you speak up? We can't hear you.
the operating budget was reduced by 500.
The group insurance line, you mean?
No, that
No,
operating.
Operating. So we had, first of all, we had 800,000 coming out, then we had an additional 300,000 coming out. So the 800 was out with the report you got on the tablets last night or yesterday. And an additional 300 came out of the medical.
That's here.
Yep.
So the question is still, where's the 500 for the
The
transfer? The guy
500
shows
was
that.
coming out on the revenue side. That's going to be an operating transfer in.
So what was the number and what is the number? What was it?
Oh, I see. It's in the general fund, non-tax revenue budget total. So it goes up by 500,000.
Was 890, now it's
390.
That total goes up 500,000. 10.5 from 10.
Gotcha.
And then that reduces the amount to be raised by taxation
Mm-hmm.
by,
Well, it was 172,438. Now it's 171,626. Which is about 800,000.
They took 800,000 out of the raised taxation.
That's right.
That's right.
That's the answer. We already
Three from
taken the
operating.
800
and the
before
9
today, and we just took
5
another
from
8.
Transfer.
Come on, go over there. Go, get up over there.
Okay. Okay, do you want any other items changed? Those are the changes.
those were the changes from today.
Today.
Yes.
Follows. Everybody's got that? Okay.
I think you got to go through it again, just for the record.
Yeah, so you know what, just for everybody's, like.
I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, okay.
We had 800,000 out on Tuesday that was done on Wednesday for this file for today.
Correct.
Okay, we're talking
So
about
8.
1.6, so we have 800 left. Look at the Board of Ed operating was 117,483 this morning. It's now 117,183. You good? Okay, that's 300. Now the other 500 go to,
General fund, non-tax revenue.
exactly. Go to the transfers in was 890, right? That's just the
It's
flip
on
side of
those two
second page,
pages.
just the page 2 of this today's, not tonight's, but today's file. It shows a transfer in of 890. It's the last line item in the revenues. And it should equal 185,29,451 for revenues. Everybody got that? Now, that number went to 1 million, transfer ins of 1,390. So why didn't total revenues go, why did revenues go down 300? Something else change? On the new version, your
Tax collection amounts went down.
Yeah.
okay, that's okay.
Why is that?
Yeah, that's new news. Why'd that happen?
Because we've increased the non-taxable income. So we decreased the amount to be raised by taxation.
It definitely decreased the amount raised by taxation by 800,000. Was 172,438. Now it's 171,626. Got that.
So the tax collections and the operating transfers in are gonna combine.
Has come down because the transfer in. So we're good with that. Okay, but the 800 shows up and the amount raised by taxation dropped 800. So that's 1.6 million total. Okay. Okay. And it dropped from 3.9 to 3.4. Okay. So that's really, that's only the only change we had to talk about. Every other department, every other bucket is the same.
Yes.
Then we have to vote on. Anyone have a question? Speak now.
Hey, Todd, just want to clarify. I think I understand. So we reduced the BOE amount by taxation by 1.6 million. What I'm hearing is the run rate is only decreasing by 1.1 million, and we're doing a one-time transfer of 500,000. So the expense budget is coming down 1.1 only, correct? And it's a one-time transfer. So their base for next year will be reduced by 1.1, not 1.6, but the overall taxation for this year will be down 1.6. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's
Okay.
correct.
I just want to make sure I understood it. Thank you.
You got the big picture correct. Unfortunately, this first version that we had 800 of it done. And now we have the other 800,
Added another
which that's why it got a little confusing, but you got it, Michael,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Alan, you look a little befuddled. Okay, all right. If not,
It's his first time.
he's a smart guy. When he's thinking, I get nervous, so I want to make sure we got it right.
I don't know if it's a relevant data point, but from the budget we got from the Board of Selectmen to now, the amount to be raised by taxation has dropped quite a bit.
By 0.5%. It's 0.5%. 800,000 is, well,
No, it's more than that.
actually, it's
Yeah.
a full percent.
Yeah. Yeah, do you have that exact number from what was received from Board of Selectmen to what was the amount to be raised by taxation on February 3rd? 173, I'm guessing, it's just my memory.
172,665.
See, I don't even need it. Yep. So that's, yes, 3 million.
3 million.
Yeah.
266.
Combination of the 1 million, 1.1 million here, the bonded capital, the taxpayer supported capital reduced. So it's a few things like that.
That's a good number.
That's a good number. No, it's good work. I know everyone had a lot of fun.
You guys can join me for one more round if you want.
You're on your own. Other questions? All right, I think we move to a vote unless there's any other concerns. I think we're good to go. Are you good on the?
So we're good on the operating.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right.
Well, and capital. We're voting on.
Yeah, no. We're, okay.
So why don't you let everybody know what you're going to ask us to vote on? Just
We're
the
going-
big ticket items.
We're going to vote on the total general fund operating expenditure budget,
Mhm.
the total sewer fund revenue and expense budget, the general fund non-tax revenue budget, the proposed fund balance contribution total, the proposed amount to be raised by taxation, the proposed property tax collection rate, total other fund revenue budget, total other fund expense budget,
Mhm.
and capital projects as per the 5-year capital plan total.
Now, I just want to make sure these numbers, because these numbers aren't quite the same, are they, on this page? The amount to be raised by taxation here says 169.
Yeah.
Not 171. Why?
It should be 169. No?
9676.
Right.
Yeah.
And the updated revenue and expense sheets I just gave out should have the 169 on it.
Okay, but the sheet you just printed has
It's right here
the amount one, okay.
Well, it's here.
on the second page. Yeah, it ties to this.
It
page,
does,
though.
it does, it does. Okay, this all checks out. I'm sorry. You are correct.
That's good. I checked that.
I'm helping you out, Ryan.
The $5 million for the proposed fund balance contribution is just a placeholder?
That's a placeholder for when we do the mill rate in June, just to see how our balances are coming in. If town council cuts a lot more, we wouldn't need to maybe put in that much. So yes, that's just to give them a budget that ties, that we can agree with, and then we'll check out where we are. We certainly have a healthy balance, so we know 5 is okay. Remember, last year we did 5.7, but we had extra couple $1 million of delinquent taxes that came in, so we could pop that up a little bit. Last year, we're not there this year. Revenues are actually down a little bit, so that's why remember we decided to go with 5 for now. But yes, that's a placeholder to be, yeah, we can move it up or down. Okay, Chris, are you good?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay. So you want to call a motion for each one of these?
Yeah, we're going to.
You have to read it first?
Yeah, we're going to vote on each one of them as they come up, but I have to read the item, the line items first. So we will vote now. A vote will now be held on the tentative budget recommendations for the town of New Canaan and the sewer utility for the fiscal year July 1, 2026 through June 30, 2027. General fund, total town department operating budget, 43,524,887.
43 million.
Sorry, 43,524,887. Total Board of Education operating and health insurance budget, 117,183,765. Total Board of Education expense paid by town budget, 341,192. Tax funded capital budget, 476,343. Debt service budget, 18,530,152. Contingencies budget, 723,171. Total library budget, 3,119,000. Transfers and outside agencies budget, 1,330,941. First motion is approval of fiscal year 2027 total general fund operating expenditure budget, 185,229,451. Do I have a second?
Second, Victor? All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bob? Yep. Opposed? So moved.
Okay. Approval of fiscal year 2027 general fund non-tax revenue budget total 10,552,461. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Maria, second.
Okay.
No, we don't have a second.
I'll second.
Victor, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We gotta be a little quicker on the seconds.
Okay. Approval of fiscal year 2027 proposed fund balance contribution total $5 million.
Motion. Maria, second. James, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None?
Approval of fiscal year 2027 proposed amount to be raised by taxation, $169,676,990. May I have a motion?
I'll move it. Second.
Second.
Victor, all in favor?
That was Nick.
Aye.
Nick, I'm sorry. Nick. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
None? Okay, so moved.
Approval of fiscal year 2027 proposed property tax collection rate, 98.5%. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Bob, second. Maria, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? None? So moved.
Sewer operating and capital funds, Sewer fund operating expense budget total, $2,092,400. Bonded capital budget, $106,000. Approval of fiscal year 2027 total sewer fund revenue and expense budget, $2,198,400. Do I have a motion?
Motion,
I move to approve the sewer fund.
second? Second, James, just asking for a friend. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Other funds, recreation and wedding fund revenue budget, $1,420,500. Dog fund revenue budget, $24,500. Parking fund revenue budget, $135,000. Railroad fund revenue budget, $179,600. Waveney Pool Fund revenue budget, $630,700. Movie Theater Fund revenue budget, $132,550. Approval of fiscal year 2027 total other funds revenue budget, $2,522,850. Do I have a motion?
Motion approved.
Motion, Nick, second?
Second.
Victor? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. So moved.
Recreation and Wedding Fund expense budget, $1,305,720. Dog Fund expense budget, $22,900. Parking Fund expense budget, $300,000. Railroad Fund expense budget, $179,600. Waveney Pool Fund expense budget, $630,700. Movie Theater Fund expense budget, $132,550. Approval of fiscal year 2027 total other funds expense budget, $2,571,470. I have a motion.
Motion to approve? I'll move it. Second,
James.
James, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So moved.
Capital projects. Total general fund projects to be funded by tax support, $582,343. Total projects to be funded by bonding, $16,242,045. Total projects to be funded by other sources, $2,941,096. Approval of fiscal year 2027 capital projects as per the 5-year capital plan totaling $19,765,484. I have a motion.
Motion, Nick, second, Maria. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay, so moved.
This completes the approval process by the Board of Finance of the proposed 2026-2027 fiscal budget. The recommendations for appropriations as approved by the Board of Finance will now be delivered to the selectmen for submission to the town council. The selectmen will also cause to be published once a week for 2 successive weeks, a notice of a meeting of the town council to act upon such recommendations.
Okay, thank you, Chris. We are not done yet. Thank you all, by the way, all the departments. Thank you to Ann and Ryan. Big thank you. It's a lot of work. Oh, great job. Thank you. Okay, we got a couple other items if I can find our agenda in this pile.
We have some line item transfers.
Exactly. Thank you. I think that's it. Ryan, what you got?
At the end of the packet.
Yep, I got him.
A couple pages of the packet you have.
I got him. I got him.
I've got a few to review and just one to approve. We can talk about that.
Anything you want to point out here on these 2 pages of reviews? They're all pretty de minimis, not particularly, okay. Let's not, we got to finish strong here now. Let's not.
No.
Questions, anyone on the review, on the ones to review, as you review them? No questions? Okay, what do you have to approve?
Just to approve, I have one transfer for the highway department. This is less than the $10,000, but their transfers over the last couple months have pushed them over 10,000. So we're just asking, they're trying to move money out of the supplies auto truck into repairs, mobile equipment, trying to fix some vehicles. And this just pushes them over that 10,000. So they need approval from the Board of Finance to get there.
Questions on the items? Anything in particular? I guess it's just it's a bundling. Everybody good with the transfer? Okay, motion to approve the transfer then, please. Chris, second. Maria, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None, so moved. Michael, Bob, any questions? We're just about done.
No?
No, great meeting. Thank you, Todd, for leading it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both. I know it's a little tricky online, but thank you for all the diligence and questions. All right, well,
Sure.
on we move. This will go on to the Maria, Tucker, anything else? Tucker, anything else we need to cover? Okay, well, thank you all very much. Appreciate it. A lot of work this budget cycle for sure, but
Todd, the mill rate gets set when, just to remind folks about
We
that?
actually got a month off. Hallelujah.
all right, motion to adjourn. Nick's hand's already up. Second, Maria. All right, all in favor? No rush. Thank you. Okay, so
Thank
moved.
you.
We're adjourned.
Quickly, their
Thank
hands